I'm about to feed them to the sharks right now. Get them hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.
Welcome to episode 87 of the BJJ Campaign podcast. My name is Jeff Boone. I'm an A3 blue belt, 4 stripes.
Phil Coors, A2, blue belt, 3 stripes.
Philly, let's talk.
Okay, let's do it.
You have confidence issues.
Not true.
No?
Abundant amount of confidence.
When did that all take place?
Decided the other day.
And why did you decide that?
Multiple people have told me I need to do it with confidence.
Do what with confidence? That was
All of
weird.
it. All of it.
Do life with confidence?
Yeah.
I've always had that philosophy.
Yeah.
Sometimes some would even say overconfidence.
Yes, way too much. I'm trying it. Trying it out to see how it works.
I specifically remember Steve telling you that move didn't work because you didn't think it would work. Mm-hmm. I think it was at a competition.
It was.
And I was like, oh, yeah, that makes sense. It makes a lot of sense.
You told me I tried like 3 or 4 things. I didn't do any of them with confidence, and I didn't try to even finish them. That was the one where I lost because I didn't do anything.
Yeah. That was
a terrible strategy.
That was a frustrating one for me.
Yeah, well, so the one that was frustrating, I think, was the one before that. The one where Steve saw, I was not only frustrating, but I was also gassed. So it was a dual learning experience of how not to... Well, one of the ones, how not to gas yourself so bad. Mm-hmm. I'd like to just elaborate that I gassed myself doing nothing.
Right.
So that's
right. Holding on really tight to grips.
Worst way to gas yourself.
Here was Phil, and I'm going to reenact Phil in his first competitions where he was a white belt. He would just go in and grab the guy's gi as hard as he could for as long as he could. And by the way, your grips last about 2 minutes, folks.
Yeah.
If you're gripping as hard as you can.
But I was a blue belt.
Were you?
Yeah.
Are you sure?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That carried over a little longer than I thought.
Mm-hmm. I mean,
makes sense.
My hands always get tired. I don't.
Not the last competition, right? I mean, what?
They were tired.
Were they?
Not nearly as bad.
Okay.
But there's the over gripping is, I don't.
Let's get back to confidence issues, right?
I'd probably grip easier if I was more confident.
Right. For sure. But what specifically are you doing? Like, cause you can't just go from one day.
I'm not really doing anything different other than constantly saying that I'm super confident now until it happens. It's just, it's fake
it until you make it. Is that what you're doing?
Yeah. I'm trying to brainwash myself.
It seems to be working.
A little bit. Trained with Will a little bit, and he's told me the same thing, that it's a confidence issue.
Yeah.
And I can see that when he's more confident than the other person. Specifically, he has a attitude or whatever, confidence about him that affects other people before they start. So I could see its application or benefit. I don't know what word I'm looking for, but a couple people have told me that I need to do that. So, gonna try it.
I feel like it's a natural progression for you in jiu-jitsu, because I feel like in life, since you started jiu-jitsu, you have more confidence, period.
That's unfounded, yes.
It's not unfounded. I mean, my confidence is unfounded. I have never been for a lack of confidence. But that's kind of served me well in my life. Whether I knew it or not at the time, I know I'm more in touch with me now than ever before. And so I look back on some times, I'm like, I can't believe that I got that job, or I did something that I did, and I was like, no, it's because I didn't ever see failure as an option
Right.
in my mind.
And it's funny. So Brian has been sending me messages every once in a while. Who's a friend that trains in
White
Charlotte.
belt, Brian Ruidi, 3-stripe.
And he'll be like, just make a note about this episode. You like this episode, or this one was helpful. So I was like, I don't remember what we talked about 2 days later. So I don't remember what we did like a year and a half ago. So I went back and I was like, I'll just listen. And I was listening to some of it. And yeah, the things, nothing specific. I guess it's just the way that you say things makes me laugh, because like you're so confident about it. And I'll just be like, yeah, but is that true? You know?
That's why we have to give the disclaimer nearly every episode.
Yeah.
We don't know what we're talking about, but however,
you're so convincing.
I'm pretty confident whatever I'm saying is correct. And it's probably 30 to 40% of the time it's actually correct.
Yeah.
Maybe less.
So it's funny to go back and listen to some of the old ones. Just, I don't know. I re-listened to the black belt one because of some things that you've been doing.
Doubling down on fundamentals?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Specifically. And I was just like, let me see. let me listen to that, because I remember that word coming up a lot as being some of the best advice people could give, that are like high level people. And I think I remember what he said about it, but let me just go back and see. And it was just funny.
Yeah.
The confident, like, I'm going to be doing this kind of thing. It was funny.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so let's look at it. Let's just take a look at that. And that is, for what we're doing right now, I'm concentrating more on advanced class, or what do we call it? Is it advanced?
It's just mastery.
Mastery, Jiu-Jitsu mastery. So it's for those out there, and most places have advanced class or mastery class or whatever. It's not fundamentals class. What John, our professor, is specifically dealing with is positions that may be.
But it basically is.
Huh?
It's just a deeper, like, look into the fundamental stuff, though.
Right. It's like, but omoplata is not a fundamental move. Is it in the fundamentals list even? Our fundamentals list?
I mean, it's in that like master textbook, the Elio book.
Oh, well, that's a good point. So maybe omoplata is part of the fundamentals. Again, doubling down on fundamentals for me. But looking at the position, so because he'll link positionally, where to go, what to do next. And also in that, it kind of gives you the defenses to it, because he'll say, if they do this, then you do that. Well, guess what? If I'm defending what he's saying, then I'm going to try to do that and try not to let whatever is going to happen, right? To escape. Say, for example,
playing chess. Everybody else is playing checkers in class, Jeff.
I mean, you look at it that way, don't you?
Yes.
Okay. Good. All right. I didn't think I was unique in that. But, and also to like, what?
When it's something that I do and I understand what he's saying, yes. For the new stuff, not all the time. But what's funny is I don't really know how to do an omoplata, but I've been in so many of them that I very much knew how to do, like, what the common reactions are. Is like, yeah, I do that. Yeah, I've been in that one. And I'll like try to jump over it, or I'll try to roll.
Yeah.
But like, I don't know how to actually like successfully do an omoplata. So I thought that was a good class for me, because
It's a great class.
I still remember it was my first advanced class, because I was like, what are we doing? I had no idea how to do that. And it's still true.
Yeah. No, it's good. I'll tell you what, I worked with Talise, and I felt like I had a greater understanding this last time than I ever have, because before, like you said, it's not clicked. Whenever I get somebody in an omoplata, and I do omoplatas, but they always just roll, and it's basically just a sweep, which is fine. It's not a big deal. Mm-hmm. But getting back to fundamentals is that, with doing some upcoming a competition, at least upcoming, I want to have, work on my competition mindset competition training. So been doing the Tuesdays and Thursdays, which are normally our fundamental days, over in it's kind of I guess it's kind of a comp class at the main headquarters there in Charlotte. So yeah, I haven't necessarily doubled down on fundamentals. However, I will be doing the Sunday stuff. It's all fundamental stuff. So
yeah,
so singling down on it.
Mm-hmm.
How did we get on that? I don't even know how we got on that.
Your goals, I was talking about some of the older episodes after
Brian had texted you.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, I got it. So you've been training, for these upcoming year, you're doing a couple competitions in September leading up to the Pans in October, right? So you've been doing 2-a-days, right? Take us through that, like what, and take us through kind of the intensity of it and the recovery of it as well.
Yeah, so I just stretch more, and I do the sauna after the morning class, and then I try not to.
So morning class is basically an open mat where you're rolling.
2 days a week is open mat. Yeah, so
2 days a week is open mat.
And Wednesday afternoon is an open mat, and I'll still work on what I'm trying to work on and not go super hard because I get tired. And then after that, I've just been doing the same thing that I was doing before with all the supple leopard stretches that I needed to do for everything, mixed with the Tom Brady stuff. Because Tom Brady's the best. And doing the rolling, the foam roller.
Mm-hmm.
And then the lacrosse ball.
And sauna.
And then I sauna after class, yeah.
Yeah.
And then if it's bad, I'll just lacrosse ball whatever hurts before the second class.
So first class is either open mat where you're just doing sparring, training, positional stuff or whatever. Mm-hmm. And then the second is mastery class, right, for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then we've been mixing in some, kind of instructional time after that. So maybe 3 days sometimes.
Yeah, Mondays I'll come here after the morning open mat and we'll watch something and try to drill it a little bit.
Yeah.
The other days hasn't worked out as much just because I'm being lazy. Gotta get that third time. No, I really try to take a nap because if I can sleep for an hour, I feel a whole lot better for the second class.
Yeah. I mean, that's part of recovery, right? I mean, that's part of your recovery routine. That's just smart.
I've cut out cookies, which is unfortunate.
When did you cut out cookies? Because I
week.
seem to remember after your birthday, you ate a whole cake.
That was like 3 weeks ago.
Was it 3 weeks ago?
Yeah.
All right. I lose track of time sometimes.
Yeah. You've seen me. Everything I ate 24 hours ago is out of my body. Like, it doesn't stay around long.
That is true.
There's an in and out. There's no, it flushes. Although I did try the almond milk that multiple people suggested for that shake that I was trying to do with the kale and the cucumber and then
you got to watch all the fucking sugar in that almond milk, man. There's so much sugar in that almond milk.
You're such a food Nazi.
I'm sorry, man.
Like, I can't
listen. I can't
almond,
listen to people.
Then here's the thing. So my choice is either I don't really do anything, or I guess I did it twice in water, and it sucked, but it was just the plant protein that tastes like crap.
Yeah.
In water, or I use the almond milk to like change the thickness of it because it sucks with water. The kale and the cucumber and the protein. It's really bad with water.
Sounds disgusting.
And the texture is disgusting.
Yeah.
So it's really good with like regular whole milk. It tastes good. But the problem is I can only do that like once a week. If I do any more than that, I feel horrible afterwards. So I stopped doing it, and a lot of people suggested almond milk.
So look for almond milk without sugar. They put a ton of sugar in almond milk. And you're just eating cookies with that's all it is. You're eating cookies with your shake.
No, it doesn't. I mean, it still tastes bad. It just tastes better.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
I'm just.
All right, well, I mean, did I look at the nutritional facts on the thing? Absolutely not. No, I have no idea.
How do you not? Like, I can't pick something up and not be like, oh, there's 7,000 things in this.
I looked at one number, Jeff. The price. That was the cheapest one.
And by the way, whenever it's the cheapest one, it has the highest content of sugar. Yes.
Yeah, I'm putting it all together now that you're mentioning it. Yes, I got the cheapest Publix brand.
That's ridiculous.
Yeah, it was $2.99. 400 grams of sugar.
And all almond milk is, I think, is like that it's the water that they soak the almonds in.
Is it?
I think
assume
it
they just,
is.
like, smashed them or something.
I don't know.
Squished them for it or
I mean,
something.
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, I have no idea. I mean, it still doesn't taste good. So if I throw it out, I throw it out. I don't really care.
Yeah.
But I was trying to find a way to have more. The problem is, like, even for broccoli, it's like 20 minutes for me to make it, like, roasted the way I like to do it.
Yeah.
Or, like, my oven's kind of slow, so a while, because I have to wait for it to heat up, you know? I just want a snack. Like, I don't want to invest 40 minutes into making a snack.
Yeah, but you really don't have to invest 40 minutes because you actually invest 5 minutes in preparing it.
Yeah, but then I got to wait. Maybe I should have changed what I said. Like, I want to eat now.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is
Yeah.
you were kind of dishonest with all of us here whenever you said you didn't want to waste the time. It's not.
Yeah, I'm ready to eat now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you can do other stuff.
I
while
could,
that's,
but I would be hungry. Yeah, I'm trying. So anyway, I guess if people know of healthy snacks that taste good, let me know. No nuts, no dairy. So I also have the most, like.
You can't do nuts?
No.
Are you kidding me?
Nope.
Same problem?
Mm-hmm.
Straight through?
Mm-hmm. Same reason I can't have peanut butter anymore. Peanut butter, like, was my go-to. And I think I can do peanut butter, like, responsibly, but I don't. So I have to,
You
like,
don't
stay
do
away.
anything
Well, Molly actually started making these, like, oatmeal, peanut butter, and chocolate chip, like, little ball things with some honey in there.
Oh, that sounds good.
It's actually really good. And it makes, like, a little ball. So I can have, like, 2 of those. And I have no problems because there's not that much peanut butter. But when I eat half the jar of peanut butter, it's not good. But it tastes so good.
Got such a delicate system.
It's terrible. Yeah.
No wonder you can't gain weight.
I cannot.
I
No.
know.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
So anyway, stretch out, foam roll in the morning. Electrolytes usually in the morning. Sauna for like 20 minutes after class. Shower, nap if I can, and then just try to do the next one. And then I try not to go with like much more effort than I need, you know. But training tired has been convenient too, because that's, you know, what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
But like surprisingly not sore. Like I'm kind of sore in the morning a little bit, but when I finish rolling stuff out, lacrosse ball, I'm not.
Yeah,
I'm not in
I
pain.
feel like we glossed over that. I mean, you're spending a considerable, I'm not going to say considerable amount of time, but an investment in, you know, really making sure that A, you're doing your massage chair, right?
Not really.
You're not?
Not the same amount, no.
Really?
No.
Dude, I use a massage chair every day. That's part of my recovery.
Yeah, I mean, I might hit it once. Like today I did, well, actually I did 3 because I was waiting for you to get back. But I did 2 this morning. Like, so it's about like 30 minutes probably in the chair. And I felt really good. But no, maybe
me, it's
one
super
time in the
important.
morning. Yeah, I always feel like I have enough time in the morning, and then I seem to always run out and be running behind in the morning.
That doesn't make any sense.
I poop
to
a
me
lot,
at all.
Jeff. The time just disappears.
Okay.
It's just gone.
Okay. All right.
You know,
Fair enough.
I wake up, I feel like
I don't have
plenty
any of
time.
these issues.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
It just is what
I
it
just
is.
sit in the chair for 30 minutes at a time
Yeah.
and love it.
What's fun?
My main, that and the Tim Tam. Mm-hmm. The Tim Tam is incredible because, you know, whenever you
I'm
gotta
pretty
spend,
sure it's the same thing.
it's the same thing as
just,
rolling it out. It just
Yeah.
takes less time.
Yeah.
Right? To get, I mean, because you're probably spending 15 to 30 minutes rolling a day. 15?
No.
10?
Probably 10, yeah.
10 minutes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, well, I spend 5 minutes with the Tim Tam doing everything. You know, I think, man, and that's just something too, is invest in those lacrosse balls. Those, you know, if you can't afford
The
a Tim
lacrosse
Tam.
ball is the best.
Yeah. I mean, I know not everybody can afford the Tim Tam. It's an expensive recovery tool, but man, if you can afford it, boy, is it worth it.
Yeah, I was looking at the ones on Wish, and they were like $40. And I still
it would like work for like 2 days. It's Wish, and it would take you
6 months to get it.
Yeah, a year maybe to get it.
Yeah, I didn't get that one. But
that's funny.
I think between eating a little bit better, because I don't eat that bad anyway.
Yeah, you're right.
But
you're right.
Between that and then like even when because what'll happen is I'll not feel sore, and then I'll want to skip the sauna, and that's the bad idea. If I don't skip the morning sauna thing, I'm good.
Has your Whoop data kind of backed up that statement? As far as whenever you do that, it says your recovery's better.
It's still been like up and down. Like this week I had Monday and Thursday, I was in there like red, bottom 33%, and I still trained twice and felt okay. So I think it has different. I think since I started doing the sauna consistently, I think my sleep improved, and I think the sauna helps the heart rate variability. That's why I was listening to that Rhonda Patrick thing, which unfortunately I felt like that was too much on like the coronavirus stuff. But she mentioned heart rate variability once briefly in like her overview of sauna stuff. I think that helped with it a little bit, and I
didn't realize that.
And I think that the sauna has helped my sleep. And I think those two things combined have helped the recovery part.
Well, not only that, but a big component,
be higher.
Yeah, a big component that you forgot to mention, and that is that the sauna will help you generate heat shock proteins, which help with all types of recovery.
Yeah, I think, well, that's the entire point of being in the sauna.
Yeah, I know, but we didn't state that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's what makes all those things happen.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So.
And so I'm saying I do it after the morning training. The reason I like to do that is because it's the one that you just sit in, so your head pops out, and it only gets to 140. And according to her, you want to be in like 170.
Was it 170 or 2?
No, it was either 170 or 140, but that's with your head in too, and my head's not in. So it's like I'm not in an actual sauna with like steam and stuff. It's in that chair thing where I'm just sweating. But she said 20 minutes. So if I get in and I'm not doing anything and my regular like body temperature is just normal, it takes a long time to start sweating. Like it can almost take 20
you like
minutes.
Only sweat that last 10 minutes.
But after training, and I'm already like elevated, or even if I just have like 2 or 3 cups of coffee real quick, it'll get like the body temperature warmed up, like I'm about to start sweating, and I get in there and I sweat faster, and it feels more useful. So that's why I like to do it after training.
Dude, if I'd have done it after training last night, it would have been incredible because it was like 102 in there the whole time, and we were all wringing freaking wet. That mat was completely wet. Mm-hmm. It was disgusting. And it's a blast.
It's hard to move sometimes.
Yeah, it was a blast.
Fall.
Yeah, there was. We had enough room to do stand up. It was just you felt like you were ice skating in there. So yeah, it was fun. It was good. It was good training though. Moving on, Gordon Ryan update. You don't know?
No.
Gordon Ryan is going to. I think he's going to take on
the match.
Jeff Munson in Russia.
Is that not the one that you said was going to be a bad match from the guy who won his division after him?
No, so did we talk? I thought we talked about that last episode because his next match is Mateus Dennis, who is Atos. I think he's Atos out under Galval. I think. That's his next match. Who won the ADCC? The trials, the ADCC tournament in the weight class under Gordon Ryan this past year, and I think he's been on those Mexican supplements, so he's bigger now.
Good.
Not to say that Gordon Ryan isn't on them, but that's going to be. I think that's going to be a better match than him and Jeff Munson. because Jeff Munson was a former 2-time ADCC champion, but like in 2000, early 2000s. He's ex UFC fighter, big giant dude, anarchist who actually put his money where his mouth is and moved to Russia. Which I just think is incredible. It's crazy. But anyway, so he lives in Russia now. So he's probably Gordon Ryan's probably going to do the match over in Russia with him. And then Nicky Ryan, his little brother, is taking on a wrestler, really good wrestler. I can't remember the guy's name. I think he's from North Carolina, dude. I think he helps coach UNC. But yeah, I think so. Actually, Austin might know that dude because the one coach at UNC did their wrestling class, coaches their wrestling class up at Mozzie's. So that, and then I just want to hit on the Craig Jones Mason Fowler rematch, Submission Underground. It was a terrible match. I don't blame Mason Fowler. I mean, he made it a terrible match because he was just avoiding Craig Jones for the entire, I think it was only 6 minutes, 5 or 6 minutes.
Did Craig Jones try to take him down?
No, he just butt scooted and tried to get him in leg entanglements.
Yeah.
So it was both their faults, but Mason Fowler was just backing up. And I, you know what, I would probably, if I was going to blame something, I'd blame the rule set, and I'd blame the referee for not calling stalling, because he was backing up. He wasn't engaging at all in the regular. He just wanted to get to overtime, which is a great strategy to win. I mean, like I said, I don't blame him one bit for how he played the match. That he was playing the match to his best percentage for success, which he had in the second or third overtime.
So scooting forward, not considered stalling?
No, scooting forward to engage with someone? No.
Okay.
But he, in the meantime, Mason Fowler's moving back. I mean, that's stalling.
It's managing the distance.
Kudos to you, Phil. You're right. Distance management. Correct. You are correct. But those are the ones of note. In a no time limit submission only match, who do I think would win? I think Craig Jones would win that match. But that wasn't what it was.
But can he only win it from the bottom?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, well, I won't say that, because Craig Jones is real. Well, his triangles are mostly from the bottom, but his back attacks are incredible. I mean, so yeah, I mean, he did actually get on top, and when he got on top, Mason Fowler got out immediately because he didn't want any of Craig's passing and back taking game. He just disengaged and kind of whenever Craig stood up, he stood up and backed away. So yeah, Craig Jones did try to work his top game. It's just that in that no-gi top game, it's pretty easy to get out of the bottom position if you don't want to be in the bottom position. Okay. I mean, that's it. So anyway, kudos to Mason Fowler. I think he's an incredible competitor.
Somebody's got to make it fun to watch.
I mean,
somebody's got to figure out how to make it fun to watch, or it's never going to be popular.
I feel like the funnest rule set is going to be, and here's the problem with it: the funnest rule set is going to be the no time limit submission only. That's the fun. But here's the problem: it's no time limit.
Yeah, that's not fun to watch.
It's not. I know, because there's a lot. You're guaranteed a finish, but there might be a lot of inactivity there at the beginning, and there might be a lot of running and not, avoiding.
How do you speed it up?
I don't know. That's $1 million question, right? We want to hear from you, audience. How do you make it interesting? How do you make? I think we're in agreements that, and don't get me wrong, I enjoy watching gi matches, and I watch a lot of gi matches, but they're not that interesting.
And none of them are.
Right. No gi is definitely more interesting than gi.
Sometimes.
Most of the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just don't. I love jiu-jitsu so much. I just don't like watching it. And someone needs to figure out how to make it fun to watch.
Well, if you approach it like a study, then you don't have to have fun watching it. And that's what I tell myself is, like, I'm doing this so that I see what they're doing, and that by osmosis, it's going to go into my brain, and I'm then going to be able to do it.
Yeah, but I think if the goal is to spread, I don't know. I don't know how you do it. That you keep
I don't think there's any casuals that are watching jiu-jitsu.
Well, that's the goal, right?
It has to be. I mean, yeah, maybe casual wrestlers will watch jiu-jitsu just to make fun of it because they seem to have an axe to grind with jiu-jitsu.
Yeah, I don't know. But if the goal is to grow the sport, like people say they want to do, they have to make it fun to watch, or no one's going to watch.
I agree. Yeah, no, you're not going to find an argument from me. I think that listeners, let's have your ideas. Put them on that BJJ Campaign podcast Facebook
Yeah,
page.
but worry more about the snacks.
and giving Phil some ideas for healthy snacks that don't involve peanut butter
I'm up to like
or
8
sugar
eggs
water.
a day. I'm up to a lot of eggs because
Eggs are the perfect food, Phil.
yeah,
Eggs are the perfect food.
I love eggs.
They're the best. They are the best. Anyway, moving on. It's been cool to see that we've had a lot of new white belts coming in, and a lot of white belts that are super interested in jiu-jitsu coming in since everything. You know, why do you think that is, Phil?
I think that's been the case for like 2 years.
I think it's particularly the case now because I think people they're stuck at home and they're like, all right, this is terrible. I've got to find a way to make myself better. And I think they're looking to martial arts to do that. And I think it's one of those things where I've always wanted to do it. So why not? Let's try it now. So I love that. I mean, what's your best advice for, let's go with the brand new white belt who's coming in for their first 4 classes, right? What's your best advice for that?
Listen to episode 39 where a bunch of black belts give really good advice.
I mean, you could listen to people who know what they're talking about, or you could listen to us, Phil.
When you put it that way.
Because we're going to look back on this and we're going to be like, that's horrible advice.
I think Trey Pace had the best advice. Have fun with it. If it's not fun, you're not going to do it.
Yeah.
Because you're going to lose a lot. So it has to be fun.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to want to do homework that hurts all the time.
Yeah.
So if you don't have fun, you're not coming back.
That is true. So then let's turn that around, because then we got to turn that around, because we got to look at it as we've got to be good training partners, especially for those people who are doing it. And I like to pair up with the new people that come in, because I think it is fun. And I think that I get a chance to share what jiu-jitsu's done for me with regards to health, weight loss, other benefits. And I think that you know, that makes them feel good about their choice, which they should feel good about their choice. And also making it fun for them, because if they're not getting it, I'm not going to sit there and be like, oh, you do this, put your hand, whatever. I'm going to make sure that, like, don't worry about it. You know, nobody gets this one the first time. You know, we'll just keep trying it. And I'll do it a couple times. You'll do it a couple times, mess it up. Don't worry about it. You know? And so being a good partner in that way. And also, well, our kind of rules are you don't roll the first 10 sessions, right? So after that first 10 sessions, make sure that they have a good time rolling. Like, you're not, you know, smash, even if because look, they're not going to know unless they listen to this episode, not to be spazzy and not to blow out, you know, all their energy in one setting, and not to hold their breath. That would be one of my suggestions. Make sure to pay attention to your breathing. Don't hold your breath. I mean, I notice people doing that all the time, and I tell them, like, hey man, you're holding your breath, you know? And they're like, oh yeah, I was. So just, just making sure that they don't hold the breath, and also again making it a good experience for them whenever they're rolling. To obviously you've got to protect yourself and you got to protect them too, right? You got to protect the new people you're rolling with, because if they get going too much, just hold them a little bit, let them calm down, and then maybe say some reassuring words to them, and kind of just make sure that they have a good experience whenever they're rolling their first time, not smashing them. What else? What other advice would you have for?
Was any of that advice for the new person, or are you just talking about what you do?
No, I think it's advice. No, I was playing the other side of the coin of what you said, right? In what our responsibility is.
What you need to do so they do have fun.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It was all good advice. It just felt like none of that was for the new person.
No. I was playing the other side of the coin to make sure the new person had fun,
right?
Like you said.
Gotcha. Okay.
Pay attention, Phil.
I started thinking about other stuff.
I know you did. How much coffee have you had?
Some. I have a story that I have to tell you afterwards. Don't let me forget to tell you. It's funny.
The story? Funny story. Okay. So I totally agree with that, the have fun statement. I think Trey Pace is right. I mean, he's one of my best friends, but
obviously,
he's not, folks. You've got your jiu-jitsu crushes. He's one of mine. Mm-hmm. It's okay. What other advice would you give the fairly new person?
Consistency.
Yeah. Yeah. I would say along those lines, if you people get busy with their work, their family, their home life. But one of the things that John kind of instituted that I really like is that scheduling your time each week in the Zen Planner app of when you're going to class. I think that's really important. That if you've got something scheduled, you're more likely to do it. So if you're thinking Sunday, maybe you're somebody who does meal prepping and stuff. Whenever you're thinking and doing your meal prepping, you're going to have a couple minutes. Just write down in there, or write down on the whiteboard on your refrigerator or whatever. Hey, I'm going to do fundamentals Tuesday and Thursday this week, and possibly try to get in to an open mat Saturday or something of that nature. Just to set the training goals for the week, I think is an important way to have that consistency.
Yeah. Whatever it is. It's 2 days a week. Do you 2 days a week? That's what Ryan said. I think it's good advice.
Yeah, I agree. Try to do more than 2 days a week, though. 3, if you can. 4, 5, maybe 6. On occasion 7.
Mm-hmm. You just do it consistently.
Right. You're right.
What would your advice be?
My advice to the new person would be, try not to worry about your lack of understanding at the beginning.
Mm-hmm.
Because I was that way. I was like, God, man, I don't understand any of this. And then I'd go and I would look at it, and I would look at YouTube stuff on it, and when it's not really necessary, because like John says, just keep showing up. You're going to see these same things over and over again. And yeah, it's great to, focus your attention on it. Another top tip, it's great to get in as many reps as you can whenever you're doing it, not just sit there and watch. You can, watch the instructor do it. The instructor usually does the move at least 3 times, probably 3 times, right? So the first 2 times, watch it in trying to get the move, and the third time, watch it in trying to keep in mind the response that you're supposed to give as a partner, right? Because many moves are a result of what the input is from your partner. So if you're going to be a better partner by keeping that in mind whenever you're watching the instructor show the move for the first time or the first 3 times. And so I think that's a couple of pieces of advice I think that new people could really benefit from is that don't worry if you're not getting it right away. I mean, there's still moves that, I'm still constantly trying to get better at that mount cross choke because I suck at it. you know, and I've seen it 7,000 times and I still suck at it. But it's getting better. You know, I feel like I understand it a little better now, but there's just always those moves. And then conversely, there's going to be those moves where you see it the first time and it clicks. I mean, I specifically remember you, whenever we were doing the hip bump sweep, you did it for the first time. And like, I'd done it a dozen times and my hip bump sweep still sucks, but you were always really good. Like that I said, this is your sweep, you know, because you were so good at it from the very beginning. And that's not going to be everything, folks. That's going to be very few things that you actually have. That it would be nice if it was everything, but it's not.
Yeah, it's like you with the Imanari roll. Yeah. I remember the first time I saw you do it. I was like, this is it. This is your move.
That is a joke, because the first time I tried to do it, I was like, fuck this move. I'm never doing it. And then Phil was like, just keep trying. I was like, no, I don't want to do it. And for whatever reason, he convinced me. And in 5 minutes, just doing a perfect Imanari roll.
Perfect.
I mean, it was terrible, but still, it was way better than I started with. So yeah, I think those are just a few things that the new people can latch onto. And one other thing that I would say is, especially if you're a white belt, and this is not just a brand new white belt, but any white belt. I remember I felt like I was useless to the upper belts whenever I was rolling with, because basically there was nothing I could do. And there is going to be nothing that you can do if they don't want to allow you to do it. But I felt like I was always useless, but I see that now. That's certainly not the case, because they're getting in positions that they want to work on whenever they're with you. You know, it might not appear that way, but that's what they're doing. So you're providing a very valuable tool for them to hone the new techniques, and that's what they're doing. They're taking chances with the white. They're not really taking much of a chance, but they're trying new stuff and trying new setups on you white belts to make them part of their game and make them work against other belts, make them work against the blue belts, eventually the purple belts, eventually the brown belts, and then eventually on other black belts. So don't feel like you're useless to your training partners like I did whenever I was a white belt.
Yeah, I felt the same way.
Did you? Yeah, I think everybody does.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's like, well, this isn't, you know, when I was going with Ryan, he was a brown belt at the time. It's like, I mean, this isn't really doing you. I thought in my head, this isn't really doing you much good. But really, I know he was just working positions that he wanted to work, and that is great for him. Mm-hmm. You know, that is a real positive for him. So, okay, now on to your funny story, Phil.
It's not related to jiu-jitsu.
Oh, we're not going to say it on the.
Oh no. I'll tell you after.
Well, I mean, I'm not interested in a story that's not related to jiu-jitsu.
Fine.
Just kidding. I am. You know, I think I'm gonna save our other topic that we had for another day. We're already hitting up against the time, and I think that it's better left for another day. So there's.
I really thought you were going to tell them to focus on the fundamentals, and I'm kind of pissed you didn't say that. I left that one for you. I left it for you.
You teed it up. I just didn't hit it out of the park.
Yeah. You just won't touch those, huh? You just won't touch them.
Double down on the. I mean, they're going to come to fundamentals class. That's what they're going to do, because they're not going to want to come to the mastery classes or advanced classes.
Just won't touch them.
I know.
It's fine.
I know. Philly, tell the folks, if they choose to, how to support us.
Share the podcast.
It's a great.
And give feedback, like Chris does. He says, "Shut up about the videos." So I didn't talk about them today. We really, in our defense, we really don't listen to Chris much. So it's fine, you know. But I don't listen to people, and that's another giant flaw of mine. A lot of things
for 6 months.
A lot of things could be avoided. You know, a lot of problems could just be going right around if I would listen sometimes, but I don't. So, yeah, you know, feedback, thoughts, suggestions, and share the podcast.
Absolutely. And someone said to me the other day, that is a sweet BJJ Campaign t-shirt. They were like, you guys have t-shirts? I'm like, yeah, we got plenty of t-shirts, man. I think we even got big boy sizes in t-shirts, don't we? I know we got 1, 2.
I don't even remember. I think so, yeah.
Yeah, we got extra
T-shirts
large.
were good.
So t-shirts were good.
It was really funny. Another funny story I forgot to tell you. Yeah. We were training like 2 weeks ago, and one of the newer guys was like, mentioned like my, the campaign patch on my gi. And he just noticed it and was like, "Oh," he's like, I thought that said BJJ Champion." And I was like,
no.
And I laughed and I was like, "Oh, that's a podcast me and Jeff do." And he's like, "Oh, it's a jiu-jitsu podcast." He's like, "I've seen a lot of people wearing the rash guard and whatnot." And I was like, "Yeah, Jeff and I do it." And he was like, "Oh, you guys have a podcast?" Like he thought it was like a really big deal. And I was like, there are no rules. Like anybody can have a podcast. Like,
don't believe him, ladies and gentlemen. It's a huge deal. I mean, we're a podcast.
It's like there's no like.
If you've got $10
there's no
a
entry
month
requirements.
If you've got $10 a month, you too can have a podcast.
Like you can say whatever you want. There's no rules. Like it doesn't mean anything.
We are perfect testaments to that.
It's like.
You're perfect testing.
It's like you can literally start one today if you wanted to. That made me laugh.
That's hilarious. It's hilarious. All right, very good, Philly. Episode 87 in the books. We're looking forward to celebrating our 100th episode. That might actually coincide with our New Year's episode, which would be cool. Bang both
Probably
of those.
Probably not. It's 12 away. 24 weeks, 6 months away. We've been at about every other week right now.
Oh, yeah, you're right. Oh, yeah, it's going to be longer than that. Okay. So we're thinking about that. You guys, Brian, thank you for the suggestions for that. Really good suggestions. Thank you. We'll incorporate those. And if you're not out there doing something to make yourself better each and every day, get out there and do it. Phil and I choose jiu-jitsu. We hope you do too.
I'm about to feed him to the sharks right now. Get him hype right now. Yeah. You know the ground is up. Yeah. Everybody that trains, you know the game. Yeah. So let's get it. Slap it up, bump it, and roll. Hey. Yeah, that's the way that it goes. Ain't no better way to better yourself in this game. You're feeling the growth. That's time on the mat. We put in the work. Believe it ain't easy, I know. But we train for the love of the game, the love of the art. Now slap it up, bump it, let's roll.